Hi students, in previous video we studied about ecosystem, their types and how decomposition takes place. Step by step, how steps of decomposition takes place we studied. In today's video, let us study about factors affecting the rate of decomposition. What and all factors affect for the rate of decomposition? In that first one comes chemical composition. If you see, if the detritus rich in the chemicals like lignin and chitin, the rate of decomposition decreases. At the same time, if the uh, nitrogen and water soluble substances are present like sugars and all, then the rate of decomposition increases. So in this way, chemical composition affect the rate of decomposition. And the second point is climatic conditions. When temperature, I mean moderate temperature and moist environment, I mean favorable environment is there means, then the rate of decomposition increases. At the same time, if temperature is low, cold atmosphere and anaerobiosis means nothing but the life without oxygen. So these 2 points decreases the rate of decomposition. So chemical composition and climatic conditions are the two factors which affect the rate of decomposition. Next, third one is energy flow or food chain. Already we studied the function of ecosystem. First one is productivity, second one is decomposition. These 2 points we discussed in previous video. Next, third one is energy flow or food chain. Food chain is nothing but transfer of food from the producer to next organism in a series, in a chain manner. So this is called as food chain. Here food transfer or energy transfer takes place from one organism. It starts from the producer because only producer can produce the food by taking the sunlight or abiotic components. So producers are the starting point from where the food chain begins. Next, the food chains represent the energy flow through the ecosystem. Means here food moves in the form of energy from one organism to the another organism. For example, the energy moves from the grass to the grasshopper, from grasshopper to the frog, from frog to the snake. So here each step in the food chain is called as trophic level. For example, this grass is a one trophic level, grasshopper is another trophic level, and frog is one more trophic level. So each step in the food chain is called as trophic level. Next, grazing food chain. This grazing food chain, it is a type of food chain which starts from the producer. That we know that only producer can produce the food. So from producer, this grazing food chain starts. So the food chain which start from the producer, so they are called as grazing food chain. For example, grass to the goat, then man. So this is called as grazing food chain. Next one is detritus food chain. So here what happens, the food chain begins from the detritus, I mean dead and decaying components. So here example, dead leaf. From dead leaf the energy moves to the earthworm, from earthworm that energy moves to the bird. So this type of food chain is called as detritus food chain. So grazing food chain start from the producers and detritus food chain start from the dead and decaying matter. Next, saprophytes. These are the organisms which feed on the detritus. Example, fungi and bacteria. Next is standing crop. What is a standing crop? Standing crop means we study the trophic level. In each trophic level, a certain amount of living particle or in a particular time. So it is called as standing crop. The standing crop is measured in the form of mass, I mean a number, or in the form of biomass. So this is measured in a given particular area in a particular time. So it is called as standing crop. Each trophic level has a certain mass of living material at a particular time. It is called as standing crop. It is measured as the mass of living organisms, biomass, or the number in a unit area, like how many organisms are there, so they will count the number. Food web, we studied that food chain. So food web is nothing but it's an interlink between the food chain. So if many food chain they interlink between each other, then it is known as food web. For example, let us look at this picture. So here this is the food chain. So if you see here, the energy from plant goes to the grasshopper, from grasshopper it moves to the frog, at the same time from grasshopper energy moves to the rat, from rat to the python, again python get the energy from the frog, at the end it will go to the eagle. So again if you come to another side also the same thing takes place. Here what happens, many uh, food chain they interlink between each other. So this type of system is called as food web. Next, ecological pyramid. So look at this picture. Here we mentioned or we represented the organisms like producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers and all. So this is the graphical representation of the food chain. So let us see the what is the definition of food, ecological pyramid. So it is a graphical representation of energy, biomass, or number of different organisms in a ecosystem is in the form of pyramid. Here we can write the number, or we can write the how many number of organisms are there, or in the form of biomass or energy we can represent. So let us study the characteristics of the ecological pyramid. What are the characteristic features of this ecological pyramid? The base of pyramid is broad and it is narrow at the apex. The base of pyramid is broad because producers produce the food. So the base of pyramid is broad and narrow at the apex because tertiary consumers are present. So the number is very less. So it is narrow at the apex. The relationship can be expressed in terms of number, energy, or biomass. The relationship between each trophic level we can mention in the form of number, how many organisms are there in the primary consumer, in the secondary consumer, or in the form of energy, kilocalories or calories, again biomass, grams or kgs we can represent. Next is the base of pyramid represented by the producers and apex is a top consumer and other trophic levels are in between them. The base is producer and top is the tertiary consumer and middle other trophic levels are present. And most of the pyramids of number, energy and biomass are upright. We can see this image, it is upright. But you may have the question now, is there any inverted pyramids? Yes, there are some inverted pyramids. Let us study about that. Inverted pyramids. The pyramid of number in a tree ecosystem is inverted. Now look at this picture. Here, then if you consider in a number, the tree ecosystem is inverted because tree, if you consider here, number is only 1, and if you consider herbivorous, the number increases. Again if you go to the next trophic level, parasites, again number increases. So number is gone increasing from one trophic level to another trophic level. So the pyramid is inverted. So this is the pyramid of number in a tree ecosystem is inverted. This is the second point. The pyramid of biomass in sea also inverted because the biomass of fishes is more than phytoplanktons. So look at this picture. Here also we can see the inverted pyramids. Pyramid of energy is always upright. It cannot be inverted because when the energy flows from a particular trophic level to the next, the some amount of energy goes out or it get wasted in the form of heat during the respiration. Ecological succession. It is the gradual and predictable changes in the species in a given area. If we identify the gradual changes in the species present in a given area, so this is called as ecological succession. If you see here, the first is primary succession. It's a succession starts where there is no living organisms are there in certain area. If there is no living organisms at all, and if there is a succession takes place, then it is known as primary succession. Next one is secondary succession. It is a succession that starts the area which having already lost all the living organism, which mean earlier there was living organism existed there already. Now it is completely lost. In such area, if succession starts, then it is known as secondary succession. Hydrarch succession. Hydrarch is nothing but water area. So the succession takes place in water area. It is called as hydrarch succession. And xerarch means nothing but where there is no water. I mean very dry area it is. Next comes pioneer species. These are the species that invade the bare area. For example, lichens and phytoplanktons. What lichens will do means they release some amount of chemicals which help for the weathering of rocks. So the formation of soil takes place. It helps for the generation of next. I mean there may be small plants, or we can see next types of ecosystem. So this is what pioneer species will do. The fourth point in the function of ecosystem is nutrient cycling or biogeochemical cycling. Already we studied three. Again I will recall you. First one in the function of ecosystem is productivity. Second one is decomposition. Third one is energy flow or food chain. Next is ecological. Third one is energy flow, and fourth one is the nutrient cycling or biogeochemical cycling. The name indicates that it's a cycling of chemicals between biotic and abiotic components in the ecosystem. The movement of nutrient elements through the various components of an ecosystem as between biotic and non-biotic components, biotic or abiotic components. Already we studied that the ecosystem is nothing but the interaction between biotic and abiotic components. So here same thing happens. The nutrients, elements or chemicals moves between biotic and abiotic components in the cyclic manner. So this is called as nutrient cycling or biogeochemical cycling. So first one is gaseous cycling. So gaseous cycling is nothing but it is a reservoir of the nutrient in atmosphere. Carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, these are the main example. Next one is sedimentary cycle. So here the reservoir of nutrient is earth crust. For example, phosphorus cycle and sulfur cycle. So let us study each cycle in detail. First one is carbon cycle. Look at this picture. Here carbon in the form of carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. During the photosynthesis which, by the green plants, it will move to the green plants. When herbivores eat on green plants for the food and all, it will go to the animals. From there it will go to the next trophic level. Carnivorous, primary carnivorous, secondary carnivorous, tertiary, like that. Then during respiration these animals releases carbon dioxide, again it will go back to the atmosphere. Then when you burn the fuel and all, again during combustion process it will go back. So when plants breathe, not during the photosynthesis, normally when they breathe, again carbon dioxide move back to the atmosphere. So here cyclic way of carbon movement we can observe in the form of carbon dioxide. So let us study in detail one by one point. Carbon constitutes 49% of dry weight of organism. If you consider any organism dry weight of organism, in that 49% is carbon content only. And in atmosphere also we can see 0.003% of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is fixed in biosphere through photosynthesis. So photosynthesis very important process in the ecosystem. If there is no photosynthesis, we cannot imagine the ecosystem. Carbon returns to the atmosphere as carbon dioxide through respiratory activities of the producers and consumers. Decomposers also contribute some amount of carbon dioxide from dead organic matter. The sixth point, burning of wood, forest fire, fuel, volcanoes, all these bring back carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. This is nothing but about carbon cycle. Next is phosphorus cycle. So look at this picture. Phosphorus is present in the ecosystem in the form of rock. So when weathering of rocks takes place, the soil, I mean it mixes with the soil and is taken by the plants and producers, and it will move the consumers, and again detritus when it will dead and decay. So again here cyclical way of movement of phosphorus takes place. The phosphorus is a major constituent of organism. It is mainly observed or found in nucleic acid as well as in ATP. It is a cellular or energy transfer systems. Many animals need this phosphorus to make shells, bones and teeth. If it is the shells, bone and teeth, in that phosphorus content is present. The natural reservoir of phosphorus is rock. When rock are weathered, minute amount of phosphate dissolved in soil solution and absorbed by the roots of the plants. Herbivores and other animals obtain this element from plants. The waste products and the dead organisms are decomposed by phosphate solubilizing bacteria, releasing phosphorus back to the soil. So in this way phosphorus moves in the form of cyclical way. So this is nothing but phosphorus cycle. Ecosystem services. The products of ecosystem processes are called as ecosystem services. So example, forest ecosystems purify air and water. It avoids drought and flood. It cycle nutrients and generate fertile soil. For the formation of fertile soil, ecosystem services important. It provides wildlife habitat and maintain biodiversity. Nowadays maintaining biodiversity is very important. It provides storage site for the carbon. It also provides aesthetic, cultural and spiritual values. So in today's class we discussed about factors affecting the rate of decomposition. We studied about energy flow, ecological pyramids. Thank you.